Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. For those who are new to our channel, we are Ayranta and Indiana, and our most favorite thing is spending time together in the Swedish woods, where we have a cabin. In this vlog, I like to address thieves who break into cabins, including ours. When watching vlogs about cabin living and renovations, one subject seems to be missing: burglars. Many people show the upside of owning a cabin in Sweden, in the Swedish forest, and rightfully so. It is a wonderful possibility of living in nature while surrounded by the most beautiful scenery. There is another side to living in a remote place. Our vlogs show our cabin in the most positive light. And in that, it is no exception. But the cabin being located in a remote area brings a downside. Because it stands so isolated, the nearest hamlet is 5 kilometers away, means that we have no neighbors who could keep an eye on our property while we spend time away from the cabin. So, what happened? Ever since buying our lovely Swedish property, Indiana often told me to expect someone to enter our home during our absence. Although I heard Indiana's words, I chose to believe this would just not happen. Surely not in Sweden. Not in such a wonderful environment. How wrong was I? When we bought our beautiful homestead in this remote part of Sweden, it turned out that my wishful thinking was just that. Wishful thinking. My naivety crushed down, forming a puddle of disappointment around my feet, where it met my heartfelt tears. The way we went about buying this cabin in Sweden shows how much trust I put in people. I truly wanted to believe that most people are good and honest and respect others' property. There are no words to express how I felt when Indiana's prediction came true. People did break into our home and help themselves to all sorts of our belongings. Maybe there is a reason that nobody seems to address break-ins in all the vlogs on YouTube about cabins in the woods. This downside that surely has to be present when buying a remote cabin in the forest. Maybe it is common sense to expect this to happen. Maybe most people already know that it is just a matter of time before someone breaks into their cabin. After a stay in England, we returned to our Swedish cabin. which was built around 1850 in a typical Swedish style. Red logs, wide windowsills, beautifully situated standing on a hill, lifting it above the river that runs nearby, while standing in lush green forest. The forest covers 70% of Sweden and is home to plenty of wildlife, and chances to spotting a moose is relatively high, especially during hunting season when they seem to come close and walk over our property. We have been told it lessens the chance of them being shot by hunters. Especially young moose are known to wander close to our property, and we have been told stories by the locals about moose and deer entering their village. And even a bear has been seen running behind someone on their bike. Finding that glass from a smashed window on that fateful, warm, bright afternoon ended my naivety. In high spirits, after unlocking the gates at the end of our drive, we drove up to the cabin, where we walked up the steps leading onto the porch. And it was there that we were confronted by a heap of shards. The front door still securely locked, but the window frame besides it was missing its glass. Me, still hoping an animal had taken shelter in our home. Upon entering, it was clear. People had made their way into our home. The disappointment I felt was unreal. To be confronted with the reality that there are people walking this planet who think it is okay to enter a property and help themselves to whatever takes their fancy. That was hard to swallow. I mean, Indiana and I are not rich people, far from it. The only reason we can call us owners of this cabin and its outbuildings is due to the fact that it was close to being derelict and that it stood empty for such a long time due to locals not wanting to take it on because of its sheer size. The cabin will be a lifelong project, with all the work being done by Indiana and on a shoestring. We have no plans to renovate it to full modern standards. We like, and have to, keep our bills as low as possible to be able to afford living at the cabin on our pensions. This means we have to find ways to make the cabin livable and live our life without spending lots of money. Luckily enough, it is easy for us to enjoy the simple things in life. The thieves clearly had taken their time in the house. We know this because the chairs around the kitchen table were pulled back, just as when people do to sit down. The thieves obviously felt very comfortable being in our house. They made themselves well at home. Upon leaving, they took some random items. For example, our water buckets were gone, cutlery, clothes, plates, salad bowls, soup bowls, an oil lamp, a clock that hung outside from the porch, and they had to use a screwdriver to remove it. A radio and many, many more cheap stuff, all gone. Even months later, sometimes we were looking for something and thought, hey, didn't we have this? Or where did that go? And only then realizing, right, okay, it now lives somewhere else. It still boggles my mind. Was somebody filling their loppies? Even they stole a door. Yes, you heard that right. A door. They took the door from one of the bedrooms upstairs from its hinges and took it with them. While taking it, they probably moved it over the balcony because the balcony, the fence around the balcony, was broken. Indiana thinks somebody might have hurt themselves. That might explain why they stopped. Somebody else must have been busy taking a door handle from another door downstairs. But maybe they liked the look of it. I'm not sure. It being old, maybe it was worth something. But for an unknown reason, but Jose thinks somebody fell down the balcony with maneuvering the door, because don't get it wrong, those doors from the 1850s were super heavy. In those days, they still made things to last. But seriously, who steals a 173-year-old door? Surely only someone who sells antiques or is renovating a cabin in the surrounding area, somewhere deep in the forest, and in need of a door? Your guess is as good as mine. After cleaning up the mess, it took me a while to shake off the feeling of being unsettled, unsafe even. The idea that others, strangers, had been in and through our home left a ghost. And it made me feel uncomfortable for quite a few days, until I took the power back and determined not to give those kind of people the power over my feelings and my enjoyment of being at the cabin. Being burgled forced us to take more drastic measures to keep the same or future thieves out. Indiana decided to barricade the easiest accessible windows for now. And he did that by using trees from our forest and metal plates lying around in the barn. He also welded a security bar behind both big entrance doors, although this time the burglars had been unsuccessful to break through these doors. We also installed security cameras inside and outside the house. The downside of all these security measures is that when we ended up locking ourselves out, we had great difficulty getting back in. Luckily enough, Indiana isn't called Indiana for nothing. You deserve a cup of tea.
How many 63-year-olds could do that?
Yeah.
Breaking into an house like this.
An upstairs window, still open to air the bedroom, made it possible for Indiana to get back into our amazing cabin. Don't be put off by our story about the break-ins. We absolutely love staying at our cabin, and over the years we will slowly bring it back to a normal standard.
You know the world is beautiful, so beautiful.
It's not all work.
The world is beautiful, so beautiful.
It's also important for us to make time to play.
Feel about you, nothing can take that away. 'Cause you make the world so beautiful, so beautiful.
I want him out of you.
Ooh.
Give me a finger.
I was restless and stranded on my own. Time seems endless when nothing's going on. But you came round and turned it upside down. You saved me when I was helpless, but now that darkness gone. 'Cause you know the world.
If there's some serious baking going on,
Bacon.
yeah, and you don't want the cake to fall apart, right? Yeah, I have made an alarm system. If somebody is baking a cake in there, they can give somebody an alarm. Don't...
Oh, like baking a poopy cake.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Ladies' bathroom, and we have a special bathroom for men where they can do their wee-wee. And it is there. Look. We have created. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to our channel and push the like button. It will all help us to grow our channel so we can continue to share our adventures. Thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye. Wow. The speed of that.
And it's accurate too.